What's up, everybody? You're here with the Fly Guy. Alright, today I just wanted to kind of debunk 3 common myths that are associated with carp fly tying. If this is your first time stopping in, my name is Matt Campbell. I'm a fly fishing addict and I used to be a fly fishing guide. I used to live and work in Alaska. I was up there for about 4 years. And I've also done commercial fly tying. I've tied flies for other fishermen since I was a teenager. I've been doing it forever. And carp fly fishing is kind of a passion of mine, and it's something that I really enjoy. And there's some myths that are associated with it that really get in the way of people being productive on the water and actually catching more and larger fish. I will be posting more videos like this in the future, so if you like this type of content, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and make sure that you hit that bell. Alright, let's get into it. Myth number 1 is you need to be using small flies and or similar trout nymphs that you might fish for rainbow, cutthroats, you name it. These types of flies do work. They will catch you fish. However, the trophy fish that you're going after you get comfortable catching carp on the fly, will bend out most of your nymph hooks. I tie my flies, even the smaller ones, on very sturdy hooks. As you can see on this Darth Vader carp fly, the hook that I am using, it's not light, it's got a thick gauge, and it is razor sharp. That hook not only is going to get me a good hook set, but it's not going to bend out under the weight of larger fish. 3 of the flies that are pictured here are not only tied on that hook, but I have them on my website at tfgflies.com. You can check them out. I've also done tying demos for the carp crawler and the Darth Vader carp fly. So if you're a tyer, check those out as well. They're on my channel. I'll throw links to all the videos in the description below. This fly, the knotty worm, as you can see, this fly isn't super tiny. I mean, this fly has some size to it and it fishes kind of like a jig. The reason that I don't fish small flies is because, number 1, in muddy water, you need to be able to get the attention of fish. And even though carp have good eyesight, that doesn't mean that they're going to be able to see your small microscopic offering. My rule of thumb is that the clearer the water is, the smaller you can go. And you're probably going to need to go a little bit smaller if the water is clear. But in most situations when you're fishing muddy water carp, you're going to need a slightly larger presentation, and I would highly recommend going with a black pattern because you need contrast. Larger fish don't get big by eating tiny things. Big fish, like carp, who are omnivores, get big by eating larger prey items. Big carp, trophy carp, they eat crayfish and minnows. Because carp are omnivores, they eat not only live matter, but also decaying matter and plant matter. So there are a lot of food items that you can replicate with your flies to get the attention of fish. Also adding to the large fly debate, the creek bugger in olive and brown. This is a size 1 hook. I have lost 2 of these to large carp in the past 4 trips that I've taken. When they hit it, not only do they crush it, but typically they are massive fish, and they've taken me into cover twice and I've lost them. This fly right here, the creek bugger bass version, obviously I fish that for bass, but I catch carp and catfish on it as well. So when you're sizing your flies to start a little bit smaller until you get comfortable catching fish. Then as you start to see how their behavior is in reaction to your fly and presentation, start beefing up the patterns that start to work. This will help you get more attention to your fly. You'll get better reactions to it, and by getting better reactions and seeing body movement changes, you'll be able to increase your hookup percentage, and you are going to catch more carp. It's inevitable. The Carp will let you know what size they're willing to take, and it's probably going to surprise you. Alright, myth 2. Flashing carp flies. Alright, this one is total garbage. If you think that you cannot put flash in your carp flies, that is a total myth. That's not true. Every single one of my flies here on the table that I fish regularly has flash in it. The dubbing that I have right here, you can actually see the sparkle in it right there on the camera. There's flash in that. There's flash here. There's flash in this one, which the big fish have snapped off lately. Flash in the tail. I don't know where this came from. I don't know why a lot of guys preach it. I think they believe that because carp feed on the bottom, they just need to be thrown drab, boring flies all day. And that's just not the case. You've seen my videos. If you haven't, I will link some in the description for you. All these flies I have pictured here have caught fish. Now these two right here, the creek bugger bass version and the knotty worm, I don't have fishing footage of them yet. I don't have it documented. But the flash in the carp flies, in these two flies here, does not deter fish from taking them. I always incorporate rubber legs, if I can, into my carp flies because they move when I'm not doing anything to them. And a lot of times our flies are at rest. We might impart some action to a carp fly, but we're not stripping it like we are for bass, okay? That's not a common retrieve method for carp. But incorporate flash into your carp flies. I have flash in all of my carp flies, and I catch fish all the time. Don't let that throw you. Okay, myth number 3, head cement. A lot of guys swear that you cannot use head cement on carp flies, that you need to just half hitch or whip finish and let it go because the scent is going to repel the carp and they're not going to take your fly. I disagree. That is a myth. I use nail polish in my fly tying heavily. And the Darth Vader carp fly, the knotty worm, and the carp crawler use head cement. This creek bugger bass version in olive and brown uses fabric paint, which is a little bit different. But the Darth Vader uses nail polish. This is nail polish, 1 coat with UV resin over top, and this is 2 coats of nail polish. So, you've seen my videos. If you haven't, check them out below. I catch fish on these flies, and these are the flies that I ship to my customers. I use nail polish. People are catching carp. It does not deter carp from taking your fly only if you're literally putting a double coat of nail polish on your flies and then heading down the street within 15 minutes to go fish them. That would be the only scenario where nail polish or head cement would deter fish from taking your fly because of the scent. If you literally just let it dry for a little bit, the scent and the chemicals that cause the nail polish to harden and then evaporate will leave your fly. They won't be present and they won't deter fish from taking them. So don't think that you need to just dry whip finish or dry half hitch your flies, not use any head cement. You can use super glue too if you want. Super glue has a scent. Super glue has fumes. It's all relative to how you're going to be using these flies. If you're going to be tying flies up in a rush and then going out and fishing within 15 minutes of coating, obviously that's probably not going to be your best option. But in 99.9% of scenarios, using nail polish or head cement to seal your flies is not going to keep carp from taking them. In fact, if you think it is going to be a problem, take the head of your fly before you even tie it on and just rub it right in the mud. Get it real nice and dirty and just grind it in the mud and then rinse it off. Then tie your fly on and that should do the trick. It's not necessary, but it does help in the event that you might have a scent on your fly. All the flies that I use for carp incorporate a combination of nail polish and UV resin. So I just want to encourage you, get creative with your carp fly tying. Use head cement. Incorporate flash into your flies Tie your flies a little bit bigger. Go after those bigger fish. Carp fly fishing is exciting. It doesn't need to be boring. It doesn't need to be any more difficult than what it already is. These myths are only in place for one reason: to keep you from doing things differently and catching fish and being productive on the water. So I encourage you, if you like this video and you found something useful in it and it helped you in your pursuits of carp fly fishing and carp fly tying, make sure to like the video below. Also subscribe and hit the bell. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care, and we'll catch you next time.